Good afternoon. My name is Lourdes Wiegand, and this video is being developed for my class ECE540 at Grand Canyon University. This class is taught by Professor Dr. Palmer. Every child, when they are born, they require love, warmth, and actually being fed by an adult or a caregiver. The same way happens to language needs. Language only grows if it's being provided, if it's being nourished. Nutrition of language is as important as everything else in order for the child to develop properly. And when I mean develop properly, we're talking in the social, emotional aspect of a person's life. A child will communicate with the first person he is encountered, which is usually their parent or a caregiver. The parent will listen to the sounds that their baby will make, which is a babbling or a cooing, but eventually these sounds will become more complex and will become words. And down the line, these words will become complete full sentences. This is why the importance of the parent and caregiver relationship is extremely vital to the development of a child's literacy early skills. When a child develops the ability to communicate, it is able to convey a message and to express their feelings and emotions. It is also why early development of literacy skills are extremely important, so in the future, the person will be able to express all their needs and will prevent behavior problems or issues. Spoken language is the first part of this process. Children will learn to mimic by modeling the words and sounds that they hear from their parents, caregivers, and eventually also from educators. But before that, they will model the parents until they are able to acquire the necessary listening skills to pronounce properly and give a meaningful meaning to the words. This is why the role of parents are extremely important in the development of a child. It is also why we need to recognize that there is two different terms that are very intertwined, but they are very important for their learning. It's called phonological awareness, and phonological awareness is the study of the sounds of each syllable that will compose the ending sound of a word. This is called like the parent. It is the parent big division that will hold all the other classifications down the line. Each child needs to know the beginning sound of a word and the ending sound of a word in order to recognize the different sounds that each word makes. Phonemic awareness deals more with specific letters and the sound that each specific letter makes. It also deals what letter makes different sounds if they are being put with another letter. It could be a vowel or a consonant. Example, the letter TH. It makes a different sound if the letter T is by itself or if the letter T is with the H sound. How about if the letter T is also with the R sound? It will totally change the complete meaning of the word. A good example I can give you will be the word 3, that is the number, the amount, versus the word tree, which is a plant, vegetation. We can also see that phonemic also plays a vital role in English language learners. English language learners, depending on the vocabulary of their home language, sometimes these sounds may not exist in their alphabet. I can say honestly, in the Spanish alphabet, the TH sound is non-existent. Therefore, it will be a new sound that children will have to acquire in order to properly pronounce it. There are many ways that we can promote phonological and phonemic awareness. At home, parents can play different games with their children just by pointing out different objects and trying to sound out the objects' names. Perhaps you could actually suggest the child to tell you with what letter of the alphabet the object starts with. And again, this is a very small time consuming where you can enjoy spending a time with your child and bonding and at the same time having fun. Parents are also encouraged to read to their children. Reading is also a vital source or a vital tool to provide language acquisition and literacy skills. One of the major elements that it will promote is good listening skills. A lot of children do not know how to listen, and by listening to the different sounds of different words, they will acquire this very vital element. Educators can also do many things. Educators can take each day, even if it's only 5 minutes, to practice phonological and phonemic awareness. They can even incorporate it into their lesson plan. It is an activity that can take a short time unless it is a special time that the educator wants to promote phonological awareness, like for example, making an ABC book. An ABC book can be done and can actually be attached to a specific picture, or the child can draw an object that starts with the letter sound of that letter. Role play. Role play is a fantastic way also to allow children to develop their language skills. You can suggest playing restaurant, or you can suggest playing clinic, real life scenarios where they actually can relate to the real life experiences and also practice language development. Don't forget that during all these activities, it's important to have fun. So add different manipulatives, such as puppets, props, and different things that will make it more real and more strong for the children to relate to. Remember that all the domains of the child will develop with language, like literacy skills with language development. There's physical, the social, the emotional, the cognitive, the language. They are all intertwined and will work together. When a child is limited in their experiences to express themselves, he also will be limited in his own ability to express in other subjects throughout life. Once a child develops the ability to communicate with oral language, he could start decoding word sounds, start giving the different appropriate sounds to each individual letter. Then from there, he will start understanding how the compound of two words or the combination of two words will actually provide a different meaning. Or after all, if you substitute the beginning of a word for another letter, it will also change the meaning. For example, the word mat with hat. Students accumulate this throughout their school years. They will develop this ability as they grow. There are some children that will need a little extra additional help. Maybe they are English language learners, or they have a slower ability to recognize words and sounds. Perhaps with this type of children, you can sit down with them in smaller groups and perform an activity where you can make an individualized attention. For example, like I suggested before, the alphabet book, in which you can walk with them and model them and especially explain to them the different sounds of the different letters. Educators should always maintain professionalism when trying to teach children these phonetics structures. And one of the good things that teachers can do is to be able to get professional development in this area. Also, educators need to be trained. Educators need to be trained in order to understand phonemic awareness. Educators need to understand, if their student is an English language learner, to understand the background, the culture, and even perhaps to some extent the basic structure of the vocabulary of that child. That way he can or she can assist the child in a better way. In conclusion, it is important to expose the child to early high vocabulary So that child could develop throughout his life or her life higher vocabulary literacy skills that will help him not only to become a fluent speaker, but also will help him to become a good listener, and a good listener will be a good reader.